to the online art class. I'm so excited to welcome you to this lesson. We're going to be doing lighthouses, and I have a couple facts for you, so here we go. Okay, so did you know that the first lighthouse that was ever built was in 280 BC in Egypt? And the structure survived for 1,500 years, but it was destroyed by an earthquake in the 14th century, and it took 20 years to complete. In 1759, an English engineer named John Smeaton designed a new type of lighthouse. It became the model for most lighthouses that followed. The lighthouse was built from interlocking blocks of stone instead of wood. This strengthened the structure so that it could withstand powerful waves. The earliest lighthouses used burning fires as a source of light. However, later versions used lanterns or lamps that burned oil or gas. Today, the standard source of light is an electric lamp. In bad weather, the light cannot always be seen, so lighthouses use other methods, and one of them is sound. Once the lighthouses used cannons or bells to warn ships, but today the most common sound is the foghorn. So we're going to create our own lighthouse painting, and we're going to base it on a Canadian artist called Maud Lewis, who painted these pictures here. Hi boys! Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to create our own lighthouse scene, and we're going to loosely base it on Maud Lewis's paintings, okay? We're going to create a grassy hill like this, and we're going to create some rocks. We're going to have this horizon line, which is basically where the sea meets the sky, so that's called a horizon line. We're going to draw a little cute lighthouse with the house attached. And then we've got a bit of a choice between maybe drawing a whale or a boat, but I'm going to leave that up to you. You guys get to decide, okay? So it's a bit tricky and you have to follow quite closely in terms of what we're going to do, but I'm going to start off by trying to get you, I'm trying to get the composition on the page, okay? So I have an A3 piece of paper over here, and my first task is to draw that horizon line. So the horizon line is going to be where the sea ends, okay? So I'm going to draw my horizon line kind of up close-ish towards the top of the page, okay? You can see that I've got a space like this at the top of the page. I haven't done it in the middle is there, so I've kind of done it up from that because I still need to draw my mountain, or not my mountain, but my mound of grass in here, okay? So I've drawn the horizon line, and then now I'm going to draw the little hill. So basically I'm going to go and find the middle of the page, and I'm going to just draw kind of up until halfway. Do you see that? So I've got in the middle of the page to the middle of the page, or the middle of the side to the middle of the page, I've got like a little grassy mound, and I think we might need to go down a little bit. So now my plan is to try and draw some rocks here. Okay, so it's going to look a bit strange on my piece of paper because I'm not going to finish the bottom of the rock because that's where our sea is going to be anyway, okay? So the waves are going to be crashing up against the rocks, okay? So I'm going to draw a strange kind of long rock here and a long rock over here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to follow the same thing here. Do you see how it goes from big to little? So I'm going to kind of go like this, and I'm going to pull it out a little bit and come back in, and then maybe another one over here, and we'll finish it off with a longer one over there, okay, and maybe one smaller one that you can't see behind that. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys can imagine that this is all going to be sea over here, and it's going to be splashing up against the rock, and we're going to place our lighthouse over here. Okay, so now that you've got this, we're going to go on to the lighthouse, and I need you to watch quite carefully. We're going to start off with the tower, which is obviously going to be a cylinder, which means it's going to be round like this. So we're going to start over here on the top of my little hill, and we're going to have a slight angle. Can you see that? And then we're going to have another slight angle going down. Now you'll see that it's a little bit lopsided, okay? So what we actually need to do is carry our line on through the grassy bank because it'll obviously have some foundation. And then when you're doing a cylinder, you have to do a curved edge here. I don't want to see any flat edges because otherwise the whole thing will look like it's going to fall over. Okay, so we've got kind of like what looks like a cylinder going on here. You obviously won't see that line, and you won't see this line here. So we can go ahead and erase those, all right? And just redraw your lines where they're supposed to be. Okay, Finish it off at the top there, draw a line across, and then this is going to be the part where the light shines out of. And I've seen some drawings where they have like a crisscross, like that sort of looks like where the light is. Then there's going to be a little top, and there's going to be a slight little roof over here. So you can imagine that the light comes out on either side there like that, okay? All right, so we're almost there with our lighthouse, but now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little house next to it, okay? So I'm going to have a little line that's going to go out. I'm going to have 2 little lines there. Looks like an arrow like that, and then draw down and draw down. And then you're going to just connect those lines and draw a little door, draw some little windows. And then you know what? I'm just going to add this into the house there. So let's just draw a line there, and we can kind of connect it. Okay, so that's what my little house is looking like. All right, and now what I want you guys to do is that either you can come up with your own idea, but if we wanted to, we could draw a little ship or a little sailing boat, and basically that's going to be 2 little lines on the surface. You want to make sure it's tiny because it's right on the horizon here. So you can draw a little yacht ship over there, and then you guys can choose between doing a whale maybe, or a boat or something like that. Okay, I think I'm going to draw a little boat, and basically I'm going to draw a slightly curved line, and then my line's going to go down and it's going to go down, and now I'm going to have some rough water underneath because it's moving forward. So I'm going to just draw a little bit of water. That foamy water is what I'm talking about. You can see this over here. This is what I'm talking about, that foamy water. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a double line here because the boat has a railing, and then it's got a cute little cabin. So I'm going to draw 2 lines going up, and then I'm going to connect it at the top, and I'm also going to give that a little railing, and you can draw some portholes maybe in your boat. And there's your little boat. And then if you wanted to, you could draw a smaller boat going that way. But if you wanted to draw a whale, this is how I would draw my whale. So there's a bit of a hump, and then you're going to also draw some ripples from your whale, and you can even draw a plume of water that's been shot out. And then with the tail, you're going to do a curve like that and a curve like that, and then you join them with a very flat M sign. Do you see that? And then that's my picture. All right, so the next thing that you guys are going to be doing is taking your wax color pencils or your waxies, and you're going to outline this for me, okay? So Alright guys, so now that you've outlined your area, you're going to take your paints and you're going to get some water, and you are going to start painting for me.